property scams, how they fool you, and the dark truths about real estate and things to look out for. I just bought another property. Oh, by the way, I just bought another property. And I got another property. Yeah, got another one. The aim of this video is just to make you a little bit more aware about the reality of property, certainly in 2023. Now, what should you be aware of if you are going to get into property? Well, let's just address social media, because social media is incredible, but at the same time, it is a great cover up to get people to buy into an educational course, a mentorship, something like that, by posting incredible photos, incredible videos in front of buildings, luxury cars. And we've all seen it, haven't we? Pop up on our YouTube, our TikTok, our Instagram, where someone is holding the camera, they've got a nice car in the background, Ferrari, Porsche in front of their house, big private yard, and you can get sucked into it and you think, I want a bit of that, because what it's doing is it's just preying on the vulnerability of someone's perhaps not so good financial situation by saying, hey, come join my course. I'm in property. Do you want to learn more? In 12 months, you could be a millionaire with £1 million portfolio. On the surface, it sounds great. And like I said, social media has an incredible way of covering up the reality of what it's like to be involved and have property. So little fact, what do we need really as a UK average salary per month? What do we live on? Well, the average is around about £1,600 to £1,700 a month. So if you think about it like this, an average buy-to-let rental, let's say we have 10 of them. Well, realistically, if we've got mortgages on them, we might be able to generate, if we're lucky, £180 net. So we're going to need 9, 10 of those just to sort of reach the UK average salary a month, or just slightly over to put us in a better situation. 10 buy-to-let properties, typically at that price of what I'm talking about at the moment, where you're going to get that 180 net. We're looking at Manchester, Liverpool. Let's drop right down into London and the south, if that's where you're living. For me to go and buy a house outright in the region of where I am, you're looking at anywhere from 400 to £1 million. And that's just for a 3 to 4 bed house now. Same in London, if not more expensive. But of course, the further you go up north, where a lot of investors are going, you can get property a lot cheaper and the yield is higher, where the appeal is for a lot of these courses, mentorships, to kind of push you to invest in, which is fine. There is money to be made. However, I just want to add the reality that it is slow. It's not fast. And you really have to look at the obvious. When you see an ad pop up and someone's in front of a really nice house and a really nice car, do you think they have the intention of making you extremely successful in property? Or is it more about their business and that they're going to be appealing to a lot of young, vulnerable, even people who are maybe slightly older, but not in a good financial situation, where they're trying to escape their job or escape wherever they're at in their life? It's going to be very appealing. So that's what you need to just slow down and just think, okay, how does my gut feel about this? Okay. Now I want to share some light. I work with a lot of business owners who have made a lot of money, anywhere from hundreds of thousands to multi-millions. Now, they all became extremely financially successful through business, but I would say 99% of them all buy property, not for the reason because they love property and it's going to make them bucket loads of money every week and every month. It's because it adds to the net worth and its security. It's having that physical asset, and it's a case of pump and dump. So most money is made through the business, and then they can go on to buy all the property that they want outright, I might say as well. Own it, no mortgage, so they're taking a full rental income. That's the way typically a successful business owner works. It's very hard to have no experience in property, not a lot of money behind you. Say if you're renting and you don't have any physical assets, to get started in property, again, in the day and age we're in now. I'm not on about 15, 20, 30 years ago where you could pick up property for nothing and mortgage companies would lend against you if you only had a bathtub as security. We're not in those times anymore. I'm on about now. So it's very hard to get on the property ladder and get lending, which I'm going to come on to as well with private investors and this whole, image of you can raise private investment like that and there's 100% funding. I can tell you now, 100% funding does not exist unless you are a multi-millionaire or a billionaire and you have extreme access and leverage through institutions, or it's your own money, or you have assets in the background to leverage against. But there is this misconception that you can start property and become very wealthy from it and cash flow very well. Some people might say, well, a HMO cash flows very well. Yes, but look at the headache that comes with it. Turnover of tenants, the marketing to get new tenants in, the outgoings, the regulations you have to, meet, fire safety requirements, licensing, insurance, covering for maintenance funds, having some spare cash in the bank, agency fees, traveling back and forward. You know, there's a lot of outgoings. It's not all income. This video was proudly sponsored by ICF Southern Insulated Concrete Forms. Now, they are the expert when it comes to speed of construction, disaster resilient, durability, eco-friendly, versatile designs, energy efficient, superior insulation, suitable for all weather construction. So if you are in property development or in the construction business as a whole, please go check them out. They are the experts. All the links will be in the description below. Let's get to the reality, which not a lot of people mention when they're doing these really fancy videos and they're another set of keys. They don't mention taxes. Let's talk about the taxes. Is it in your personal name or is it in a limited company? Look at all the corporation tax that's happening. Look at all the tax changes that are happening right now in the UK, you know, in the economy that we're in. It's not beneficial. Sometimes you even question whether it's worth opening up a limited company anymore. And there will be some people say, yeah, but you can offset this. Yeah, look, to be honest with you, it's yin and yang, com si, com sa. Kind of levels off, really. So when you look at the net number, I like to talk about net number, not the fantabby gross numbers that we all talk about, because that's what sucks people in. Think about your personal circumstances when it comes to property, if you want to go down that route, and just think realistically. If you have no experience and you want to get into property development and you've been taught property development, it amazes me to this day how many new people I speak to and they go, I'm going to get into property development. And I say, oh, okay, cool. You know, what's your experience? Oh, nothing, but, you know, I've been learning, I've done a course and stuff like that. Okay, you've just mentioned to me that you want to do a 30 million GDV, 69 unit build. I mean, it doesn't sound realistic. No one's going to lend you that money. And so this brings me on to private investor finance. I think I'm pretty qualified to talk about private investor finance. I've been working with private investors. And when I say private investors, I'm not about retail, domestic. I'm on about high net worth, ultra high net worth, sophisticated family offices and institutions. Okay. Very different caliber. People who have got a lot of money in the bank. I know how they work. I've been on enough Zoom calls. I've had enough meetings in London, in Mayfair. I've sat with them all. And I can tell you now, they are pretty protective over their money. I have never met to this day one person in my network who is first and foremost a business owner who's made millions in the bank who would ever lend their money to someone who's gone, but I've done a course. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You can raise money and you can borrow money, of course you can, but it has to be fair exchange. I want to borrow £100,000. Awesome. What do you have as assets? I don't. Okay, cool. What experience do you have as a track record? Because now my risk has gone up as the lender. Is basically startup capital, venture capital that I'm giving you, equity money that I'm giving you, which can basically go down the drain. What track record do you have which is on point, which I know that you're going to pull through on this project? I don't. Okay, but you're asking for £100,000. Yeah. Okay, at what loan to value do you want it? Well, I was told I could get it for 100%. No, you can't. It's not going to happen like that. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't happen. 100%. So you need to be realistic. Could you get a 50% loan to value on your first project with an asset in the background? Absolutely, that's realistic. And with enthusiasm, you can get some people on board, but I would say you want a peer-to-peer. You want to pull smaller amounts based on enthusiasm. I've not really known anyone who has raised a lot of money based on enthusiasm and education, which is obviously what a lot of people are taught. Now, does property make money? Absolutely. It's stood the test of time. You know, I hope one day, after building many businesses, that one day I'll buy all the property that I want just to secure my son's future. Happy days. Physical assets, can't beat it. However, let's look at some of the case studies that we see out there, which are on YouTube and all these videos. If you had £100,000, what you could do to become financially free is you put down a £25,000 deposit on 4 properties. Yeah, but it's not though, is it? It's not £25,000 because you're talking solicitors' fees, regulations, insurances, setup, costs, kitting out, travel, you know, estate agent, sourcing fees. When you break all that down, if you had 25 grand per house, really, you're probably actually going to knock it down to about £19,000 per property. That's now dropped in terms of what you're able to purchase. Now your purchasing power has dropped. So you were going to buy in Nottingham, perhaps Liverpool, somewhere like that, high yield. Now you've gone down to £19,000 deposit. You've got higher leverage of a mortgage. It's not that attractive. Your net income was going to be 180 if you had 25k. It's not. Now it's dropped down to 165. I now need 13 properties to meet the minimum income which I was earning from a job. Or, you know, running an online business, whatever it might be. Doesn't seem that appealing. Again, I'm just talking reality of today's day and age. Look, property does make money. I would say probably one of the best strategies is deal sourcing, but a real deal sourcer. And I want to finish on this. If you're going to deal source, it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, appraising, traveling, communication, network. It's online. You can build it from anywhere. Timeless, spaceless. I really think that that's kind of the starting model is deal sourcing, high commissions, because that's how you can cash flow opposed to pump and dump into a slow burner if you're just starting out. So I would promote deal sourcing, but don't go for small projects. Work with family offices that are willing to pay 2%, and they'll buy buildings which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 million. Then it makes it worth your time. Return on time invested is one of the most important assets. So those are my kind of be aware signs to look for in the dark truths of what we see on social media telling us that property is great and incredible. And just remember, when you see people holding up keys every single day and you're wondering how on earth are they buying 70, 80,000 pound houses every single day, every single week, if you are seeing people that are holding up keys every single day and all the time, it's likely that it's rent to rent. Just use your noggin, just think logical, and then make a decision after that. Hope you enjoyed this. Please do like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon.